Hi everyone, my name is Mary and welcome back to Quinn Ink. And this bag that you see in front of you is called the Project Bag. I'm going to show you how to crochet this bag. We'll get in closer, sorry that's my chair. So as you can see, I have a project already in there and some yarn, and it has two straps. Here's one, the other one's on the other side right there. Okay, so it's got two straps for carrying your project anywhere you would like to go. It is a really big bag. As you can see, it doesn't really fit in my camera. But I needed a bag so that way I could make projects and I could actually put my working project into this bag without having any problems. So I'm going to pull the yarn out. You're going to see white yarn, and you're also going to see a new project. That one will be coming very, very soon. And then of course we have that project in there. So as you can see, I have about two projects in there ready to go. You will see this project next, and you will also see that other project. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, so you'll just have to guess. So this is the bag. This is what it looks like. It's actually very big. It's worked in double crochets and half double crochets. We are going to mess up a little bit. In the video, I accidentally told you on this row to do double crochets, but I leave it. And then the rest of the rows are all half double crochets. I actually ended up doing all half double crochet here. And then here on the 5 rows was double crochet. And if you're wondering what all these little strings are, I actually had pockets on this, but I never used them. So I ended up taking off every pocket. I had 4 pockets. Each pocket was supposed to have scissors, needles, thread, you name it. Whatever I needed for a project were going to go in those pockets, but it never happened, and the scissors never worked. This one, it has a red bottom, but for the next one, it will have a pink and gray bottom. Alright, so if you want to know the tools for this project, let's get started with that, okay? So let's get started with the video. Hopefully you love this project bag. You end up making it and utilizing it for a project. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and scroll down and hit that subscribe button so that way you don't miss any of my tutorials. And also don't forget to like the video so I know that you're enjoying it. And any of the music, if you're wondering about it, will be down in the description box. And so let's get started with the video. Alrighty, so before we start the project bag, these are going to be the basic tools that you are going to need for your project bag. You're going to need thread, pins, 4 stitch markers, and 1 that is different from the other 3, so that way you know this is your beginning stitch. You're also going to need a needle with a large eye hole so you can sew in your strings and sew your straps on. A pair of scissors, and of course the most important thing, a 6mm crochet hook, sorry about that, and a tape measure, just in case you want to measure the bottom of your bag. So if you want it bigger, you can do that. And then of course the yarn. So in the corner here we have Gray Heather, and this is by Red Heart. And then we also have black yarn, which is also by Red Heart. And then the very last thing is also going to be by Red Heart, is our pink yarn. And this one is called Baby Pink. Okay, so there it is, Baby Pink. And it is also by Red Heart. And you will only need 1 skein of each of the balls of yarn. Alrighty, so now that you know the tools, let's get started with our project bag. Okay, so to start the project bag, you're going to take your gray yarn and your pink yarn and put it together. We're going to do it as a 2-string, so the bottom of the bag is a lot thicker. Make sure you have all of your stitch markers ready. We are going to need these. These are for our increases, and this will tell me this is the end of the row. Okay, so we're going to make a slip knot. Okay, and you're going to grab your hook and you're going to put your yarn, your slip knot, onto your hook, and we are going to make a foundation double crochet of 25. So we're going to yarn over and pull through to make a chain, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through to make 2 chains. Then you're going to yarn over, go back into that very first stitch or chain that you made, grab your working yarn and pull up a loop. Make sure your loops are nice and loose. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and only pull through that very first loop. That will make your chain. Yarn over and pull through the next 2. Yarn over and pull through the next 2. That'll make your double crochet. Make sure you're always pulling both of your strings through your loops. Sometimes you may only pull one through like this, and so just kind of pull it out just a little bit to see where it got caught. Alrighty, so to do that again, you're going to yarn over, go back into this chain by your yarn tail, grab your working yarn and pull up a loop. Grab your working yarn and pull through that first loop. Grab your working yarn and pull through 2. Grab your working yarn and pull through 2. I'm going to make 25 of these, and then I will be back with you. Alright, 24 stitches later, foundation. I'm going to make one more, yarn over, go into your stitches. Now remember, when you're going into these bottom chain stitches, make sure you're going under all 4 yarns, so pretty much both grays and both pinks. Okay, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 1 to make a chain, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Now we were working on the bottom, so now we're going to flip our work up to work on the top. And what we're going to do is we are going to chain 1. Okay, and now we're going to be doing half double crochets. I decided to do the bottom in double crochets. I don't know why, I just thought that would be a good idea. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put 25 half double crochets into every stitch. So you will just yarn over, go into your stitches, grab your working yarn and pull up a loop. Grab your working yarn and pull through all 3 loops. I try to make my loops pretty loose so that way I can get through all 3 loops and all my yarns. Okay, so I will meet you back down here at the end and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, 24 half double crochets later. So into stitch number 25. So remember, this is going to be round number 2 because round number 1 was us making the foundation double crochet. Okay, so into the very last stitch we're going to put 2 half double crochets into that stitch. Now we are making an oval, and so we will be increasing for this round in order to start growing. Okay, so into this, right into here, which is going to be that double crochet, we're going to put 2 more half double crochets wherever you can find a opening. So I found this opening, so I'm just going to put 2 half double crochets right into there. And as we are doing this, we are working our way around to the bottom. Okay, turn your work. Now we'll be working into our very first stitch from the very bottom, and you're going to put 2 half double crochets all into that stitch as well. Okay, and then you will half double crochet into every single stitch until we get around to the very last stitch. That should be 25 stitches. So if you count this one as 1 and you go all the way down, that should be stitch number 25. So put 1 half double crochet now into every single stitch, and I will meet you back down at the other end. Alright, 24 stitches later. This one is going to be number 25 right here. We are going to put 2 half double crochets into this stitch. Okay, so 2 half double crochets into stitch number 25, just like this. So we're going to kind of do what we did down here at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to turn our work. I know this is going to be our very first stitch. So I am going to pull this stitch apart right here. And I'm going to put 2 half double crochets because we'll be working on the side of the double crochet. So we're going to put 2 half double crochets right into there, and then into this very first stitch from the beginning of the row we're going to put 1 more half double crochet right into there. That'll give us 2 half double crochets from the beginning, and then we're going to slip stitch right into this very first stitch. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your stitch marker and you're going to put it right into that stitch. Now this is where we are going to be using all of our stitch markers. So this one is going to tell me this is the beginning of the round. These are going to tell me these are going to be my increases. This is going to be very easy, so that way you do not have to do a lot of counting. You'll just be working towards that stitch marker and you'll know to put an increase in there, and then put your stitch marker in between the increases, and I'll show you how to do that. So that was round number 2. Alright, so for round number 3, I'm going to pull this stitch marker out and I'm going to chain 1, and into that stitch right there I'm going to put a half double crochet. Okay. And now I'm going to grab my stitch marker and I'm going to put it right back into that stitch. That is going to let me know this is going to be my beginning stitch. So when I come back around, this is where I need to slip stitch into. Okay, so now we're going to put 1 half double crochet into the next 25 stitches. And once I've made 25 stitches, I will be back shortly. Okay, 24 half double crochets later, and into stitch number 25 we're just going to put 1 half double crochet. Now this is where, this is where we put the 2 half double crochets, and then 2 half double crochets and 2 half double crochets. We are going to still put 2 half double crochets into stitch number 26. So let's go ahead and do that. So 2 half double crochets right into that stitch. Now what I'd like for you to do is grab your stitch marker and let's put a stitch marker right in between those 2 half double crochets, just like this. That will let you know this is going to be your increase stitch. Then when you increase, you will pull this out and put it into the next stitch. Okay, so now we're going to turn our work, get your next stitch marker ready. So let's open this up. That one's ready for me. Okay, and we're going to half double crochet into the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, here, we'll flip this. There we go. And this one will be number 3. Okay, there we go. And then there we are. We are at number 4, and that's in between the 2 increased stitches. So right there is where we're going to put 2 half double crochet stitches right into that stitch. So 1 and 2. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to pull out your crochet hook and then grab your stitch marker, and right there will now be your increase. So as you increase, you're going to have, instead of 3 stitches, this one looks like now you have 1, 2, 3, you have 4 stitches in between. So you will increase right here in the middle, and it will just keep increasing and increasing, and then your stitch markers will keep bowing out. Now what we're going to do is, once we have done that, you have 1 more stitch marker, which means down here This yellow stitch marker is also going to be an increase. That will be an increase at the end of your row, and then you will also have an increase down here. So you will half double crochet until you get to this stitch right here. This is where the 2 increases are. I will meet you right there. That should be 25 stitches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my stitch marker right where we did that first increase. So right there you can see the 2 half double crochet. So here's one, and then here is the second one, all into that same stitch. So I'm going to put my stitch marker right there, half double crochet to that stitch marker. That should be 25 stitches. This one should be stitch number 26. This should be 25. I will meet you on stitch number 24. Alrighty, 24 stitches later. Now if you're getting confused about how I got 24, what I ended up doing was I counted this stitch right here where we did our increase. So I counted that stitch, and that gave us 24 stitches, and that one is 25. If you don't count that one, then this stitch that I'm on is actually 23, and this one is 24, and that is 25. So you can do it however you would like. So if I'm on 24, this is number 25. Okay, one more half double crochet. Right where this stitch marker is, you're going to pull it out, and you're going to put 2 half double crochets right into that stitch. Oops, sorry, I hit my light. Okay, so let's put 2 half double crochets into that same stitch, just like that. Grab our stitch marker and put it into that last stitch that we just made, and that way our increases will be on top of each other. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to half double crochet into the next 3 stitches. Remember, this was a fake stitch, and then into this stitch right here we will put one more half double crochet. That will be our last increase. So 3 half double crochets into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And if you want, you can put a half double crochet into there. I did it for many years. So into that stitch right there where this first stitch was from the beginning round, we are going to put a half double crochet right into there, just like this. That will be our last increase, and then right where our stitch marker is, we're going to slip stitch. And there we go. And that finishes round number 3. Alrighty, so working on round number 4. We are going to chain 1, remove that stitch marker. I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to put 1 half double crochet into that stitch. Now, one more thing that you can actually do if you do not want to do what I've been doing, where you have to put another half double crochet into this one from the previous round, you can actually just add 2 half double crochets into this stitch, and then when you get to that fake stitch, you just skip over it and slip stitch. So you can do that if you so please. I do not like doing that because that lets me know that this is also an increase. It is your choice. You can do however makes you happy, or however it's easy for you. So now what you're going to do is you are just going to half double crochet into the next, you're going to half double crochet into each of the next stitches. I don't know if I said that right. Hopefully I did. Pretty much you're just going to half double crochet in 1 half double crochet into each of the next stitches until you get to this stitch marker, and then I will show you what to do next. Alrighty, 26 half double crochets later, and we made it to our stitch marker. So at this point what you'll do is You're going to pull out your stitch marker, and then you'll put 2 half double crochets all into that 27th stitch, 2 half double crochets. You will pick your stitch marker back up and you will put it into the last stitch that you just made, letting you know that for your round number 5 you will put 2 half double crochets all into that stitch. Now you will turn your work and you will put 1 half double crochet into the next 4 stitches or until you reach your stitch marker. Now I made this oval pattern a little bit easier. I did not want you to count stitches. If you so please, you can count all your stitches if you'd like. It takes very long, it's very grueling, and it's very tedious. So it's just best that I put stitch markers in places where you know you need to be increasing. That makes it much easier for you. So every time you get to a stitch marker, you know, okay, I'm just going to pull out my stitch marker. So we reach the stitch marker, pull it out, and you're just going to put 2 half double crochets all into that stitch. And into the very last stitch that you just made, that is where your stitch marker will go. And this alleviates you having to count stitches. And then you will turn your work and you will put 1 half double crochet into each of the stitches until you reach the stitch marker. And you guessed it, into that stitch marker you will put 2 half double crochets, half double crochet, make sure to skip that stitch right there. Remember, this is our fake stitch, and what they mean by a fake stitch is that's where we chained 1 and then half double crocheted into the stitch. So this is your chain 1 right here, so that's why we skip it. So you will half double crochet, skip that last stitch. I know I did it for many years. And then right where that very first stitch is, you will half double crochet into it, then put your stitch marker back. I will meet you back at this stitch marker shortly. Alright, when you have made it to the end, right where your stitch marker is, you will pull that out. And you will put 2 half double crochets all into that stitch. 1 and 2. And into the last stitch that you just made, you will put your stitch marker right back into there. And then you will double crochet, half double crochet, excuse me, until you get to your yellow stitch marker. If you made it this far into the video, don't forget to scroll down and hit that like button so that way I know you're enjoying this video. Don't forget to comment and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Alrighty. Once you have made it to your yellow stitch marker, don't forget, skip that stitch, and right into where you put your very first stitch is where you're going to half double crochet into. This will be your last increase of round number 4. Right where your stitch marker is, if it's a little fiddly, take your stitch marker out and slip stitch right into that stitch. Just like that. And then if you need to, go ahead and put your slip stitch right back into that stitch. And that will do it for round number 4. Now, I did a total of 9 rounds. Okay, so I am going to let you go at this point, and I am going to do the next 5 rounds. Now remember, your stitch markers are there to help you and let you know this is how you are going to grow your oval bottom of your bag, okay, because we are making an oval, not a circle, and these will just be your increases. So if you need to, just go ahead and back up row number 4, rewind the video and re-watch that, because it's going to be the same thing over and over again for the next 5 rounds, and I will meet you on round number 9. and then we will get started with the body of the bag. Alrighty, and then also don't forget to grab yourself a piece of paper, something like this, and a pencil. And this is the best way to count your rounds. So since we already did 4 rounds, I'm going to put 4 little ticks. When I'm done with round number 5, I'm just going to put it across like this, so I know that I have 4 more rounds to do after that. This is the best way to count your rounds as you are crocheting. Also, I also have a row counter as well. These things are great. So this is another thing that you can do as well to count your rows. Normally I just keep this on my finger as I'm crocheting, and then I click it every time I finish a row. So those are 2 ways that you can count these rows. Either one will work perfectly. And until then, I will see you on round number 9. Alrighty, we are back, and I reached row number 9. I'm almost there. This is the end of row number 9. Also, make sure you have your black and your gray yarn ready. We are going to change to this color once we are done with this row. So I just have a few more stitches, and then I am done with row number 9. And once we are finished with row number 9, we will no longer be doing any more increases. Now, if you feel your bag is too small, then you can keep doing the increases until you have the size that you want for the bottom of your bag. Okay, and so then the last stitch that we have is going to be into this one right here. Okay, so I'm just going to half double crochet right into that stitch. I'm going to remove my yellow stitch, and then I'm going to slip stitch into this one. Now I made my stitches a little tighter, but that's my own fault. Alright, so now what you're going to do is grab your scissors and you're going to cut your yarn. Okay, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through and pull through and pull tight. Okay, so there we go. So that is done for the 9 rounds. Now your I apologize. Your bottom of your bag is going to fold up like a boat, and that's okay. So I just normally just flatten it. Now I'm going to grab my tape measure and I'm going to measure this for you. So the top right here, go all the way across, to move my crochet hook out of the way. So this is about, looks like 15.5 inches. Whoop. Yeah, so that's going to be about 15.5 inches. If that's not long enough for you, and then the width of this bag looks like it's going to be about 8.5. Now you also have to remember too that when you finally wash your bag, so whoops, I spread it out, so it's actually 9 inches. So 15.5 by 9 inches. Now when you wash your bag, when you're finally done crocheting it, it will flatten out more. Okay, so now that we have that measurement, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to grab your gray and black yarn, and we are going to attach it. Now you can attach it anywhere because we're done doing the increases. So if you want to, you can remove all your stitch markers. So I'm going to do that real quick. No more increases. We are completely done. Now we're going to be working on the body of the bag. Okay, so let's grab our black and gray yarn and let's get started with the body of the bag. Alrighty, so to start the body of the bag, you're just going to put your crochet hook into any stitch that you would like around here. I'm just going to put it right back into this one. I want to put my black and gray yarn onto there and pull through, and then I'm just going to tie on this black and gray yarn. There we go. Now we're still going to be working, actually now what we're going to be working is single crochets. You guessed it. Okay, and so then we're going to chain 1. Now because we are working in, we're going to be working in the back loops only. Now this one's going to be a little fiddly for the back loop. So if you can kind of pull your stitches apart like I'm doing with this one. I'm going to pull my stitches apart. Now if you can't get in there, then I wouldn't worry about it. Just single crochet right into that first stitch. Okay, and the only thing we're going to be doing is working in the back loops. Now what I mean by back loops is you'll have this front loop right here. Oh, I apologize. You're going to have that front loop, and then you're going to have this back loop. We're going to be working in that back loop. You're going to single crochet all the way around in the back loops. And the reason why is because it'll bend your body of your bag like this, and so it'll bend up, so it'll bend the body of the bag like this, and then it'll all sit correctly instead of sitting kind of funny. So just single crochet into every stitch in the back loops like this. Okay, so here we go. So pretty much you have 2 loops right here. Okay, so you have the front loop, and then if I move that, you have the back loop. You'll be working in that back loop for every single stitch. I kind of split that one. Okay, so every single stitch you'll be working into that back loop. Okay, and you'll do this all the way around in this color. Then we will use this same color, and then we will do a half double crochet all the way around. Then we will change color to black and pink, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, be back shortly. Okay, so we are coming up to the very end, and I just have about 3 more stitches. So remember, you're just going to single crochet into the back loop of the half double crochet. So you'll just go into your stitch, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop, grab your working yarn, and yarn over through both of those loops. One last one that is actually a stitch. Okay, and then you're going to slip stitch right into your very first stitch right here. There we go. All right, and so that ends round number 10. And as you can see, it should be starting to fold upwards, kind of like a bag. Now, as you work more rounds, you will start to see your bag as it grows. All right, so now we're going to be working on row number 11, and the only thing we're going to be doing for this color is we're going to chain 1 and half double crochet into the very first stitch and into every single stitch all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to half double crochet into every single stitch. I am going to come back, and then I am going to change to black and pink, and then I will explain a little bit more about how I did my pattern for my bag. Okay, so I will meet you back in just a few moments. All right, so we are back, and I am almost to the end, and we are on round number 11. Okay, so one more stitch, and then we will slip stitch right into this stitch right here. If I can get my hook in there, so just yarn over and pull through and pull through. And then you will grab your scissors and you will cut your yarn. Alrighty, so round 11 is done. Yarn over, pull through and pull up, and then tighten. So that is round 11, and that is the start. These 2 rows are the start of your bag. Okay, so as the pattern goes, you will now change to if you give me 1 second, you're going to change to the black and the pink now. Okay, now you can do this all in one color, or you can do it in the multiple colors that I'm doing it in. So I'm doing mine in, so the rest of my bag is now going to be in the black and gray, and then the black and pink. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hook into here, and then make sure you put your black and your pink yarn together like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull through, and then you're going to tie your pink and your black yarn onto your bag. Now we're not going to be doing half double crochets anymore. Now we're going to be doing double crochets. So pull your yarn through, yarn over and chain one, yarn over, go back into that stitch, grab your working yarn and pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through, pull through 2, and then pull through 2. And here comes Sonia. She's on the desk wanting to say hello. I was waiting for her to come into the video. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to double crochet into every stitch. Sorry, she's in the light. Okay, so you're going to double crochet into every stitch all the way around, come back around and slip stitch. You will do the black and the pink for 5 rows, and then I will change back to the black and gray, and I will double crochet for 2 rows, and then I will change back to the black and pink, and I will do that for 3 rows, and then I will change back to gray and black for 2 rows, change back to black and pink for 3 rows, and then the last 2 rows will be gray and black. And that is the pattern that I will be doing for this bag. Now you can do whatever pattern that you would like for your bag. That is the pattern that I'm going to do for my bag, and I like that pattern. I don't know why, I thought it would look really pretty, and you probably saw it at the beginning of the video, so hopefully you did. So what I'm going to do is I am going to double crochet all the way around, come back on video, slip stitch, and then let you go for 5 rounds of black and pink, and then I will be back for the gray and black. So I'll be back shortly. Alrighty, so I am back, and I made it back around for round number 12, and we are coming on up to the very end of round number 12. So I just got a couple more double crochets. There we go. And then of course, as always, you want to skip that stitch right there, as you can see, so we can close that gap, and then slip stitch right into your very first stitch. Make sure you're going into all 4 stitches, yarn over and pull through and pull through. Alright, so at this point I am going to let you go, and I am going to crochet 5 rounds of this black and pink, and then I'm going to change colors back to the gray and black. Now that you know the pattern, you can go ahead and do it. I forgot to mention that for the rows we'll be doing 17 double crochet rows. And there's Sonia, she's on my desk. There's your little tail right here. She just gave me a little love bite, like, okay, be careful, my tail hurts. Okay, so now that you know the pattern, since I just told you, you can either go ahead and do that pattern, or go ahead and do your own pattern, or if you would like, you can go ahead and do this all in one color, so you would just use 2 strings, or if you'd like, you can always use the 1 string as well. So it's up to you how you want to do your bag. This is my project bag, and I just wanted to show you how to do this. It took me about 2 days to come up with this pattern, and then it took me about a week to crochet it and try and come up with a really beautiful pattern. I needed something to where I could see my bag and I could put projects in it. And what I mean by that is, if I'm working on a new project, I want to be able to put that project into the bag and work on it. And she is going to be walking on it. So go ahead and do the pattern or do your own pattern. Just remember, from this row all the way to the end row, you will be doing 17 rows. By the time you are done, that should be 28 rows in total. That's from row number 1 here all the way to row 28. Okay, so I'm gonna let you go, and I will see you back in 5 rows, and then I will show you me changing colors to the black and gray, and then I'll let you go from there, and then I will come back on camera for row number 28. Okay, see you shortly. Okay, so we are back, and I made it to the 5 rows, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this will be the end of row 5, and I just have 2 more stitches to do. 2 more double crochets. You're going to hear a loud noise in the background. That is our PlayStation roaring away, and then you'll also hear my husband snoring in the background because it's early morning, so I apologize. Then you're just going to slip stitch into that first stitch, just like that, and then you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut off your pink and your black, just like this, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through and tighten. And then I'm going to put my crochet hook back in there, and then you're going to move your pink yarn, and now you're going to grab your gray yarn. Okay, and you're going to put those 2 together. So we are changing colors now to the black and gray. Put that onto your hook, pull through and pull through, and then we're just going to tie on. Sorry about his snoring. Okay, so once you have your black and gray yarn tied on, we're going to put our hook into our stitch, grab our yarn and pull up, and then we're going to yarn over and chain 1. And what we're end up going to be doing is we're going to be doing half double crochets now. So we're done with the double crochets in the pink and black, so we're going to yarn over, go back into that stitch, grab our working yarn and pull up loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. So the black and gray row is now going to be half double crochet. For the black and pink rows, they will be all double crochet. So you'll do 2 rows of half double crochet in the black and gray. In the pink and black will all be double crochets. Alrighty, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to half double crochet all the way around. When I come back around, I'm going to slip stitch back into this very first stitch from the round, and then I'm going to do this for 1 more round, and then I'm going to change back to the black and pink, and I'm going to do 3 rows of the black and pink in double crochet. Then I'm going to change back to the black and gray, and I'm going to do 2 rows of that in half double crochet, not double crochet, and then 3 rows of black and pink, and then I'm going to leave off on the very last 2 rows, row 27 and row 28, for half double crochet in black and gray. We are on row number 16 right now, actually row number 17. I just finished row 16, which is the 5 rows of the pink. And I will meet you back on row 28 when I'm on the black and gray row, which will be half double crochet. Black and pink, one more time, is going to be your double crochet. Okay, so I will be back shortly. Alright, so we are back, and I am not quite done yet, but as you can see, I have those 5 rows done, 2 rows, and then 3 rows, and then I just finished the gray row. So I know I came back on camera. I'm going to do 5 more rows for this bag, and then we are done. What I wanted to say was on the last 5 rows, we're going to do half double crochet because I'm realizing this bag is getting pretty tall. And when I did my pattern, I forgot that I had done half double crochet on the last 5 rows. So you're just going to do half double crochet for the next 5 rows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 rows of the black and pink in half double crochet, and then my last 2 rows are going to be the black and gray, and those are going to be done in half double crochet. So you'll just yarn over, go into your stitch, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop, grab your working yarn, and pull through all 3. I will be back in 5 rows. Then we will start on the strap, and the strap is going to be done in black and pink or whatever color you would like. Okay, be back shortly. Okay, everyone, we are finally back, and guess what? Who's done with their bag? I am. Just kidding, I'm almost done. I've got 2 more stitches, 1 and 2, half double crochet, and then slip stitch into the top of your first half double crochet from the beginning of that row. And then guess what? You are finally done. Grab your scissors, cut your yarn, yarn over and pull through, and pull through, and then pull nicely. And guess what? You guessed it. We are finally done. Now I have my little stitch counter here, and the reason why is, you guessed it, we're going to go to 40 rows for our strap. So I'm going to reset this because I already did one of them, and so I'm going to do my second one. And this time we're going to use wrong one, pink and black yarn. Now, one more thing I almost forgot to mention. I am almost actually out of black yarn. As you can see, this is all I have. So what I ended up doing was running around the room, going through all my yarn boxes to find more black yarn. So I did. I found some more black yarn. So that whole entire skein that we used, I completely used it up. So go ahead and grab yourself another skein of black yarn. Not going to need very much. And let's pull this apart real quick. And this is what our bag pretty much looks like. Yes, it is a very nice and big bag, and you can put lots and lots of projects into it, but that's why I called it my project bag. And you'll probably see this from the beginning as well, but the bottom is going to be red instead of the pink and gray. I made 2 of these. Okay, so you're going to put your bag now off to the side because it's done. 28 rows. And now we are going to grab our hook and we're going to get started on, what I call the strap. So this is going to be your strap, and it's going to be pretty long. If you like, you can do 1 strap, or you can do the 2 straps that I'm going to do. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had to tighten my camera. So I'm doing 2 straps, so this is my first one. I'm going to show you how to do the second one, and you can do it in whatever color you want. I'm doing it in black and pink, okay? And it is going to be 40 rows, half double crochet. So let's get started on that. Alrighty, so to start on our straps, we're going to make a slip knot with our black and pink yarn. Okay, there we go. And we're going to start with chain 2. So put your yarn onto your hook. I like to tighten it, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see this. Okay, so wrap your yarn around your hook, pull through that loop to make a chain, pull up on your loop so that way you have a little more room, yarn over and pull through to make 2 chains. Go back into that very first chain that you just made, grab your working yarn and pull through. We're going to make a foundation single crochet of 5. Yarn over, pull through that first loop just to make a chain, yarn over and pull through 2 to make a single crochet. Now this should be a little bit easier to see when you're doing your foundation crochets. So I'm going to pull this apart. This right here is going to be the chain that you're going to go back into. Should be nice and easy to see. Grab your working yarn and pull through. Grab your working yarn and only pull through one. Grab your working yarn and pull through two to make a single crochet. Let's do that for 3 more times. 2. Oh, excuse me, that's 3. This one is 4. And this one is 5. So you're only going to make 5. We are working on the bottom. Flip your work up now so you can work on the top of your work, and then you're going to yarn over and chain 1. So we're going to be working into this very first stitch. We're going to be making half double crochet. So yarn over, go into your stitch, grab your working yarn and pull up a loop. Make sure they're loose. Yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, and do that in each of the next 4 stitches. Now this last stitch, if you make it too tight, sometimes can be very fiddly to get into. So with this one, it looks like it's a little bit loose. So there you go. This is how you're going to start your strap. And to finish your strap, all you're going to do is you're going to chain 1. So it'll be row number 3. You're just going to repeat row number 2 that we just did. And just do half double crochets into each stitch till you get to the end. Chain 1, half double crochet into each stitch, and keep doing that until you have a total of 40 rows. Now if you want to, you can make just one long strap, and if you make one long strap, I would say do 80 rows, so that way it can go around your body. But I'm just doing 2 straps, so that way it's easy to carry, kind of like a handbag. And so this is all you're going to be doing. So I am going to go make 40 rows of this strap, and I will be back. By the way, if you haven't already, don't forget to scroll down and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like button either, so I know that you're enjoying this video. And also, if you're wondering about the music for this video, it'll be down in the description box. Alrighty, so I'll be back shortly. Alrighty, so I am back, and as you can see, my strap is pretty long. Yep, this is 40 rows. That's why I showed you the stitch counter, so that way you could keep counting your rows. For me, I already counted my rows, so I just cleared it. I just have 3 more stitches, and yes, I already cut my yarn because I knew it was almost done. So 1 more, and see, that's what I'm talking about, where if you don't, when you do your chain 1 and you don't make this loose, this can get pretty tight. Alright, so 1 last stitch. Yarn over and pull through and tighten, and there we go. So now we have 2 of these wonderful straps, and you're probably wondering, all right, well, now that we're done with the straps, are we going to connect them to our bag? Nope, not yet. I want to do 1 more round, and it's going to go all the way around the strap, and this time it's going to be in black and gray. Now you don't have to do this. You can actually, excuse me, you don't have to do the black and gray if you don't want to. I did the black and gray. I thought it would look nicer and much thicker. So let's grab our yarn, and let's grab, hold on 1 second. Alright, so let's grab our black yarn and our gray yarn, because I have it right here. Okay, so put your black and gray yarn together. This will be the last row for your strap. Okay, so I'm just going to grab one of them. And I'm going to go right back into the stitch where I tied off. I'm going to go right back into here. Now you can do it into any stitch that you would like into the strap. I'm just going to tie this on real quick. And we're just going to be basically doing single crochets all the way around. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to put your hook back into your stitch, grab your working yarn and pull up a loop, grab your working yarn and make a chain. Alrighty, so I'm going to turn it because I'm going to be working on the side here. I'm going to go back in here for 2 single crochets. 1 and 2, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to be working into the side of my strap, so we're going to go into spaces that we can find in the strap. So what I mean is, like the space right here, I'm going to go into and just make 1 single crochet. And then I am going to just put my hook into any space along the side. And yes, I'm also crocheting my tails into my work, so that way I don't have to worry about it. So anywhere I see a space, I'm just going to do a single crochet. That's all I'm going to do all the way around, just like this, and I'll cut those off once I'm done. So a space right here, put a single crochet right into here. Hold on one second. Okay, so any space that you see along the side of your strap, go ahead and just put 1 single crochet right into that spacing. Sorry about that, it's hard because it keeps turning, but that's pretty much what it's going to look like. I'm going to crochet all the way around the strap. When you get to the corners, you just put 3 single crochets right into here. When I come back around, I'm going to put 1 more single crochet right into this corner and then slip stitch into that very first single crochet. So pretty much I'm going to crochet down the side here. When I get to this corner, I'll meet you down here and show you what to do next. Alrighty, we are back and I made it to the corner. So when you get to this corner, you're just going to put 3 single crochets right into that corner stitch as you are turning, just like this. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and when you get to the very top, you will actually have stitches right here, so you can just go right into these stitches. I am also going to crochet these little tails right into my work, just like that. Okay, and then when you get to this stitch right here, you're just going to put 3 single crochets all into that stitch, so that way we can turn the corner. 1, 2, and then 1 more, we'll make 3, just like this. Okay, and now you'll be working on the other side, and then all you got to do is just find spaces where your crochet hook will allow you to go into and just do single crochets. Okay, and I will meet you back at the top, and then I will do the second strap with the gray and black. And then I want you to, if you can't put your crochet hook into any of these stitches, skip over it and then just single crochet into the next spacing. Don't even worry about it. So remember, if you can't put your crochet hook into it nice and easily, skip right over it. It's not really going to matter. Just makes it a lot easier when you're crocheting. Don't force your hook into anything. It's just better if it doesn't want to go in, then skip it. Okay, so as I was saying, don't forget, grab your sewing needle and your thread, your sewing thread. Now if you're going to sew with yarn, then that's fine, grab that, because once I'm done with these, we are going to sew these onto the bag, and then the bag will be done. Okay, so I'll be back shortly at the other end. Alright everyone, we are back, and you're going to hear my husband snoring in the background. He decided to take a nap. Alright, so I have one more stitch right here in the side. I'm going to put a single crochet into, and then I'm going to come to the top right up here, and it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that'd be the last stitch. So right there into that spacing is where we're going to put 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And sorry about that, that was my kitty. She just ate and now she's happy and she wants to scream in the bathroom. Okay, and then we're going to put 3 single crochets into the next 3 stitches. I pull that down. 1, 2, and then yes, this one is going to be a stitch. That one's going to be 3. And then we're going to go back into this stitch right here where we originally were in the beginning, and I'm going to put one more single crochet into there because we were supposed to put 3, and I should have done that in the beginning. I apologize. And then we're going to slip stitch into the top of the single crochet, and we're going to cut off our work. There we go. And we're going to yarn over and pull through and pull through. Now I am going to go finish the second strap. So this is what the first strap looks like. Show you real quick. Okay, so that looks really gorgeous. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing with the second strap. Then I'm going to come back with some needle and thread, and we are going to get to sewing these onto the bag, and I'll show you exactly where to sew them, like the specific rows on the bag. So the bag will be like this, and I'll show you which rows we're going to sew these onto. Now if you want to, and you know where you want to sew, go ahead and do that. I'm just going to show you. Mine's not going to be in too deep into the bag. So that way these straps are still going to be semi-long, but they are going to be more like a handbag type straps. Okay, so enough talking. Let me get to finish this, and I will be back shortly. Alrighty, so I finished the second one. The second strap for the border. So a few things you're going to want to grab. Some stitch markers, and you're also going to, sorry if you hear me wheezing, it was cold outside and I had to go to the store real quick. Okay, so sorry, that needle's bent, and you're going to need at least about 4 needles, and I'm going to show you in just about a minute. Okay. And then you're also going to need thread and a sewing needle with a large eye hole. Okay, so what I'm going to show you first before we get started is how to sew in 2 strings. Now I'm sure you already know how to do this. I am just going to show you real quick. So I put both threads over the needle like this, and then I pull out and I try and get them to go through the hole like this. Okay, now sometimes you can't get them to go through at both at the same time, so I just do one at a time like this. And yes, you're gonna hear my husband snoring in the background. I apologize. So there's one, and then you just do the second one really quickly. The yarn can also be pretty thick too. Another thing you can do is get a crochet hook and sew your strings in that way as well. Okay, so once you have both of them on, then you can finally just sew your strings in. I just go in through the top like this. I go in through the top stitch like this, and then if you can see, I go through some stitches like this, and then I end up pulling. Sometimes this can be a little fiddly, but if you just get it, you can get them to come through like so. Okay, and then you have both of them on your needle, and then I'll go through a couple more stitches like this, and then I just pull it right through. Once it comes off, I just take my scissors like this, Oops, sorry, I dropped him. And then I just cut. Just like that. And then we are nice and sewed in. Now, for this strap, you are going to want to kind of stretch it out like this. Okay, and kind of pull on it. Because this is 2 strings, it'll start to curl, as you can see, like it'll curl like this. So you kind of just want to pull it back like that and get it to stop curling. Okay, so where are we going to sew these? We're going to sew these onto the bag. So here we go. Okay, so you're going to grab your bag. Now I already put the stitch markers and I already put the needles on. But I'm going to go through this with you really quickly where we are going to be putting our needles and our stitch markers. Okay, so you will find anywhere on your bag that you would like. What I ended up doing was, I'm going to turn my bag. I ended up counting right here on my bag. Okay, so I folded it like a taco, like this. Okay, so I folded it in like a nice little taco. I am so sorry, he is snoring really loud. Hold on a minute. Okay, so I folded it like a taco, like this. And what I ended up doing was counting 19 stitches all the way around. And so this was number 1, so I put a stitch marker here, and then I counted all the way around. This is 19 right here. This is stitch number 19, and in the 20th one I put a stitch marker. Okay, then I folded it up like this, and from the stitch marker I counted 8 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Put a stitch marker right here. And then I put a needle in between the 8 stitches. This lets me know this is where I'm going to put my strap. Then from that stitch marker right here, next stitch over, I counted 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that is what's going to be, these are the stitches that are going to be in between the straps. And then in my 10th stitch right here, I put a stitch marker, and then I counted 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stitch marker, and a pin. That lets me know the left strap and the right strap are both going to go here. And I'll show you what I mean. So we'll grab this strap. So this will go here. And then when I fold it over like this, the other portion will go right there. Okay, you see that? And then again, once I got to this stitch marker right here, I folded again like a taco, and I counted all the way around 19 stitches. And then in the 20th stitch, I put a stitch marker. From the stitch marker, counted 8 stitches, then put a stitch marker in and a pin. After the stitch marker, counted 9 stitches. On the 10th stitch, put a stitch marker, 8 stitches again. On the 8th stitch, put a stitch marker, came back around, it was 19 stitches all the way around, and then pin and pin. Okay, so that is how your bag is going to go. I'm going to show you how to sew on one of the straps. Okay, so get your needle and your thread ready. Thread your needle. You're not going to need very much, and you are going to hear him snoring really loudly. I apologize. I think he has sleep apnea. So I think that should be enough thread. I know you can't really see it, but that's pretty long. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to thread my needle, and then I'll be back shortly. Okay, we are back. We are going to thread this. So I'm going to pull out this needle. Oops, don't want to lose it. And I'm going to put my strap, my first portion of the strap right here. Now the strap is going to go on the 2 rows of the black and gray, not on the pink. Now if you want, you can put it on the pink. It really doesn't matter. It's your bag. I wanted mine a longer strap, but I didn't want it too long. So I felt this was perfect enough. So what we're going to do, let me just grab my needle. So I got my needle. It's nice and threaded, okay? And we're going to turn our bag right here, okay? I'm going to leave this stitch marker here. I feel this is perfect. Hopefully you can see this. So you're going to go in between this stitch in the back, and you're going to go into the next stitch right here onto, there we go, onto your strap, and you're going to pull through until you have a loop. Okay, there's your loop right there. I know it's really hard to see, I apologize. And then you're just going to pull nice and tight. Okay, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to turn the bag this way now, because we just needed to get that onto our bag. And I am going to go in through the back like this, okay? It caught onto the stitch marker. Okay, so just pull it nice and slowly like this, okay? Now once we have our thread in the front, I really hope that you can see this. I'll move in a little closer. Once you have your thread in the front, okay, you're just going to go in between the stitches on the bag like this. Okay, and I'm going to go up back through this stitch and make sure it's secure. Okay, and then I'm going to tighten. You're going to hear my husband snoring. I really apologize. Nothing you really do about it. And if you need to, you can take your needle right here, okay, if the thing keeps moving. And what I ended up doing was I ended up pinning it right there, okay? Make sure not to poke yourself. That way you're not holding this strap. Now I know it's really hard to see, but you're just going to hold the strap against the bag. You're going to hold a strap against the bag and go through the strap, the bag stitches, and the strap stitches, just like this. Okay, we're going to do something called a whip stitch. That's what we're going to do. No one's going to see it. The thread is black. The yarn is practically black. And not very many people are going to see your bag unless you take it out. Then, you know what, I don't think they're really going to notice, to be quite honest. And you're going to pull nice and tight, nice and tart. Okay, and you're just going to go down here into some stitches and up through here. Okay, and this is how you will sew all of both of your straps on. Okay, and yes, your thread is going to get kind of tingly, and I'm just going to go in through stitches, if you can see that. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. Very simple, very easy. Don't make this too hard. Don't make it too difficult. Find any stitch on the bag, go right into it. Even if, see, right now I'm going in between the stitches where the holes are and up through it. As another thing you can do, you can go through any of the stitches. See, I went through a double crochet. I didn't go through the full double crochet stitch. I just found some stitches and just went right in through. Just like this. Pull on it, make sure it's nice and tight. And what I'm basically doing is I'm doing a whip stitch. I feel it's just super easy. And again, I apologize for my husband snoring so loud. I've tried really hard to record when he's not in the bedroom, and then he goes and takes a nap, and I end up getting snoring in my video. So make sure that the bottom of your strap, like this, is lined up with the this row right here, and I believe that's row number 27. Row number 27. So make sure your strap is lined up with row 27. Now it's okay if it goes over, the 8th stitch. That's fine. You know, we were just putting that there as markers to know where we wanted to sew our strap onto. Okay, so I'm going to just keep going. It's a little bit harder when you're doing it on camera, but without the camera it's just so much easier because you can move your bag and twist it. And I'm going to twist my bag this way. Okay, so there's my thread, if you can kind of see it moving. And then I'm just going to go through stitches. We're almost done. And then I will do the rest of the straps. But this is going to be your basics for how you will sew your straps onto your bag. And then I'm going to go through this very last stitch right here. I'm just going to go somewhere in there. There we go. I'm going to remove the stitch marker. It helps. You can remove your stitch markers once you get around. And then what I also ended up doing was I turned the bag to the back. Give me a second. There we go. Turn the bag to the back because you're also going to have this hole right here. Whoops, you're going to have this hole right here. Okay, so we have to close that off as well. And you're going to do this on all your straps. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I felt it was just better that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around to this side, and then I'm just going to go into some stitches like this. Okay, and I'm just going to pull through. And you do want as much yarn thread as you can get on your needle. So I'm going up through the bag, and I'm going up through the stitches on the strap. That way I can just close it off real quick wherever my needle will allow me to go in between. And it looks like I didn't get myself enough thread. That's okay, it happens. Sorry, I'm trying to see where to put my needle into. And yes, he's gonna get louder. Anytime I record, he gets really, really loud. We're almost done, I apologize. If there is any point where you have to stop and rethread your needle, you can also do that. Like right here, I don't think that's going to be enough thread, so I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to go up, back through the stitch, make a loop, try and go through that loop and make a new loop. As you can see, sometimes it can get really tight. So what I'm just going to do is just kind of tighten it and then go back through like this. And then I'm going to put more thread on my needle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rethread this sector right here. And the reason why is because I feel it's not going to be tight enough or have enough thread. Secure. You want to make sure your work is nice and secure. So what we're going to do is we're going to secure this now. So I'm just going to go in through the back, which is actually the front, find a loop, and then just go right onto it like this, and then just connect it. That's what I'm going to do. We're just going to connect it like that. I'm going to move the camera up. Okay, so we just connected it. Not disconnected it, we connected it, okay? And if you feel it's not connected, you can go right back through like this. Okay, let me get my hands out of the way. Excuse me. And you're gonna make a new loop. So I normally put my finger through it, and then I just put my needle right through that loop, and then I just tighten. Just like that. And that way it's nice and tightened. And now I'm just gonna do the whip stitch method. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna go a little bit faster while also making sure my stuff is tight. Okay. And my husband just got up. Yes, he did. Just like that. Okay, a lot of times you will have to pull your thread out of the way so you can see. Okay, just like that. I am just now finding any place, any thread to just go up into with my needle. That's all I'm doing. Sorry, I'm wheezing again. It's because it's really cold here, and I can't take the cold right now, so I'm wheezing a little bit. Okay, and so this was the area where we were not able to finish off because I didn't have enough thread. So I'm gonna go through the side right there, and then right through here. Okay. So we're almost done. I'm going to move this stitch marker out of the way. I'm really hoping you were able to see that. I try to have really good lighting so you can see, but sometimes it doesn't matter where you point the lighting, it just doesn't want to work. Okay, so now that we got back around, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it through this stitch, and then I'm going to go back through this stitch right here on the bag, not on the strap, okay? And I'm just going to pull it through like this, and I'm going to do it one more time. But this time I'm going to make a loop, so I'm going to put my finger here while I'm making that loop, because this is where I want to fasten off, but I want to make sure it's nice and secure. And you don't have to do this. I'm gonna put my finger through there one more time to make a nice loop. We want to make sure it's nice and tight, and so I'm going to pull up on it as best as I can. Put my needle right back through there, and then whoops, sorry, I hit the camera. And then I'm going to pull, and you'll hear that click. And then I'm just going to go back through some stitches like this, and then I'm going to cut off. And then I'm going to use this thread on the other strap. Okay, so we're going to pull out the camera. So there you go. That is how you're going to sew on your straps. And there's some bunny ears right here, so I'm just going to cut these off. Okay, so that's how you sew on your strap. And it should look really nice and look like it's actually sewn into the bag. So I'm going to sew on the rest of this strap and then the other strap, and then I will come back on camera and show you what it looks like. Okay, I'll be back shortly. All right, everyone, we are back, and you guessed it, I put on both of the straps. They're done and ready to go, as you can see. And so now I'm going to show you what the bag looks like. Okay, so this is a project bag that I invented and created, and then there's my little narwhal. Okay, so I invented and I created this. So as you can see inside, it's actually very big. You can put a lot of big projects into this bag. So there's the bottom. So this will be the end of the video. So I hope everyone enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to scroll down, hit that like button, and don't forget to comment. And if you're wondering about the music that I have in this video, it'll be down in the description box. Alrighty, until next time, everyone. Bye-bye.